Hello.
Hi. Hello, everyone.
It is us. We are here today
Welcome back
on our show.
to The Gay and the Grossed Out.
That's this show that you're listening to right now.
Burn, chicka, burn. I wish there's
Okay.
kind of cues, but I think I'd mess everything up if I clicked one.
We'll just make our own cues because we're smart like that.
Bow. That's
Bow,
one.
Chicka bow wow.
Oh, yeah. That's for, when we get a little
yeah.
hot and heavy.
Yeah, when things get hot in the studio.
Can I cancel the show?
Yeah.
That's it.
This is our finale, everybody. We're never doing this show
God.
ever again. This is the last one.
That's too much pressure, though, for this to be the last one.
For this to be the last one. It's not. Well, I think we have one more show this semester. I think next week. I think next week will be our last show.
I don't think they even opened up the radio station finals week.
No, I don't think so. So yeah, I think
That's fine.
next week would be our last show of this semester.
Oh my god, wait. Oh my god, that's actually a little frightening.
Yeah.
Our
season two.
No. This is season 2.
Yeah, so it would be our season 2 finale.
Oh, okay.
That's what I was gonna say.
Oh. Sorry.
That's okay.
I was like, no.
You're
this is not
wrong.
Season. You are wrong.
Incorrect. No. Next. Yeah. This is our season. We're currently in season 2. We're at our penultimate episode. The second to last episode is the penultimate episode. That's this one.
Well, next week we really have to show up.
Show up and show out, as the kids say. I don't think anyone says that.
No, I don't know.
La 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 la.
Can I tell you something that's bringing me a lot of joy?
Sure.
This past couple of weeks?
Of course.
Or I guess this past week. I only just got it.
Yeah.
It's the new Pikmin Bloom game on your phone.
Yeah.
It counts the little steps, and Pikmin is a Nintendo franchise. Big surprise. I love Nintendo.
Yeah. Even though they're greedy. And refuse to sell a game for less than $50.
Literally. They're all so expensive.
Yeah.
And they say that expensive because they're only on the Switch. But, I mean, isn't that the same with, what about, PlayStation exclusive games?
Yeah.
Do those go on sale?
Yeah, usually, after they've been out for a while, the, online PlayStation store will be, 50% off or X amount off. They do a lot. They do quite a few sales on the, PlayStation store and stuff. For games, I feel like the Nintendo store does them, but not for their big titles.
No, it'll be for I don't even know, just a third party one.
Yeah.
An indie game will be on sale.
Yeah, or an older game that came out on a different console that was remastered for Switch.
Yes.
Or ported, because it's not really remastered, just ported onto the Switch.
But even then, all of those games you have to pay for Nintendo Switch Online.
Some of them, yeah.
Or some of them are remastered physically. But and either way, it's another little game on your phone, and it counts the amount of steps you take.
Mm-hmm.
So rather than distance walked, so I could sit here and I could just move my phone, and I think it would count as steps.
That's so weird. You think that they would?
It's a scam.
Yeah, because Pokemon Go, you can't do that.
No.
You can't just shake it and get steps. You
but
actually
I think it also connects to the fitness thing in the phone. So because obviously the iPhone has those capabilities.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it connects into that, and however janky the stepping is or whatever. There was it also it does also count when I'm in the car.
Yeah.
And it's it literally looks like I walked from the other day I went to Buffalo. It literally looked like I had walked from Fredonia to Buffalo because it would be
God.
oh my God, you walked 8,000 steps. And yes, I did walk a lot, but not the amount of the 8,000. It was definitely
the whole way. Yeah, Pokemon Go doesn't do that. What Pokemon Go does, I actually found this out a couple years ago that I thought was super interesting. What Pokemon Go does is it records your location, and then after a period of time, it will then record your location again, and then it will measure the distance between those two times, and then that is the distance you walked. So it's because it's not by steps, so it's just by where it pings your location over various time intervals.
Interesting.
Yeah. So that's that. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that's honestly like. So far, that's pretty much the best thing that's happened to me.
Yeah.
You know. Well, actually, no. That's a big fat lie.
Oh, okay.
The drag show was yesterday here on campus.
Oh, yeah, it was.
My God, that was no, it was fantastic.
It was great.
Regina Gorge.
Yeah, is a person performed. We know. Yeah.
She absolutely slayed.
Slayed the game.
Her crown was ripped from her and completely mismanaged.
No, everyone did great.
Yes.
All the performers were wonderful.
But, like, I wanted her
biased
because
we're biased.
I wanted to be around a winner.
Okay.
And instead I'm around
a loser.
A drag queen.
Well, all drag queens are losers at the end of the day.
You said it. So
hey, you know.
But it was a lot of fun. It was put up by the Pride Alliance, and they got Darian Lake
from season 6 of RuPaul's Drag Race to attend.
Which I am very surprised by just how horrible she was portrayed in the season. I've talked to so many people, and it's just like, yeah, they did her so dirty. And maybe she did herself a little dirty.
Yeah. I mean, the thing with reality television is, like, you did say those things to an extent, but, like, when the producers only show people, like, the negative things that you say and, like, none of the good things, you're obviously going to have a negative depiction of that person because all you're seeing is them being nasty and them, like, saying mean things about their competitors. So it's like, yeah, I think when you watch reality television, you just have to remember that the things that you're seeing are picked for you to see. Like, the producers are only going to show you what they want you to see.
It's cherry-picked scenes, yeah.
So, like, you have to just watch it and take everything with a little bit of with a grain of salt. And you can have problems with the things people say. Like, people can say horrible things, and you can say, wow, that was really messed up. They shouldn't have said that. But, like, you also have to remember that, like, that's not everything of who they are.
And it always is with anything. It's like, I know, like, the reality TV, and like stuff like that, it's supposed to portray like everyday people, but like no, these are performers by trade.
Yeah,
they perform all the time, even when they're not in drag. They are performing for the camera.
Yeah.
So
and like, you're also put in this extremely stressful environment
where,
like, obviously, when you're put under that much pressure, you're gonna do and say things that like you wouldn't normally do or say because you're so stressed out and there's so much to be expected of you. Like, if I had a camera shoved in my face 24/7, you would catch me doing the worst of things because it's stressful. It's probably so stressful to be in front of a camera all the time.
100%. And always competing. Like, the friends you make at one point are still going to be competitors.
Yeah.
And now that the prize money for the drag race is going, like, it's so much because it should be, because you know,
it should be more, but that's a different discussion.
But it's still always just like
Queens talk
any
about
sub of money.
Yeah, Queens talk about how before they go on this show, it's like, I had to take out a huge loan to even afford my costumes to like come do this.
Yeah.
Like the financial expectation that the queens have from not only the producers of the show, but also like the fans, really like it's like a lot of queens compete on the show and they don't, like, if they don't win, they aren't going to make any money, which like you do make some because to be on a reality show, they give you a stipend. So it's like for however many episodes you film, at least for like Drag Race, however many episodes you are in, you get like a amount of money. But like it's not that much, and it's like not nearly as much as you would get if you like won the whole season, obviously, because like that the point is that you want to get to the end, so you win, so you get all the big money. But I know with shows like Big Brother, it's a little different because like they don't really have episodes. Like they have episodes, but like you're in the house for like days, like months. So they give it to you by like week, I think. Like for however many weeks you stay there, they give you like a sum of money for it.
That makes sense, because like then if they did that by episode, then it's like.
It doesn't really work because the way they film the episodes is kind of like weird and like irregular, so they can't really do it by episode. They have to do it by like actual amount of time that you're there.
I just wish that everyone would just be paid by the hour. I know that's like unrealistic, but like as someone who has worked for a set amount of money each day, it is not a good feeling.
No.
Because if you were working anywhere else, you would make that same amount of money in like 3 hours of labor.
Yeah. Yeah. It's very weird because like you have to perform all the time. So it's like you're working the whole time that you're there and like you don't really get a break. And like the working hours to like film a TV show, it's like 16 hours a day, like filming a TV show. Like it's like insane. You don't get to like relax like ever. And that like that's another thing with like Drag Race and like the perception of the contestants is like they never stop. Like you're never like you never stop. Like sure for us, we see like one episode a week. So to us it feels like, oh, this season's like 2 months long because we see an episode every week. But you have to remember that they probably filmed those episodes like back to back to back to back. Like they filmed that season in probably a much shorter time than we're actually watching it. So yeah, that also I think adds to like the stress and like the like, and also like you're there and you don't know how you're gonna look like when the show actually comes out. Like you could go and film the show and be like, I'm gonna look so good. They're gonna make me look like the star of the season.
Because I'm the sweetest person and blah, blah, blah.
And then you watch the episodes and you are just awful and you're the total villain and like they made you look awful and now you have to just sit there and be like, oh, now everybody online is like sending me death threats and like, oh, people are like leaking my address.
Which like that's a whole nother issue that like toxic fan culture and like stans is like just like riddled within the drag community and like like the drag race.
Yeah. There's a separation because a lot of people who watch Drag Race don't actually care about drag and they don't actually care about like queer art. What they care about is like messy reality TV, which I like messy reality TV, but on the same note, I also love queer art and I love drag. So like you have to remember to watch it and be like, these are real people and like this is a show and like everything that I'm being shown isn't like always going to be 100% the truth. And I take it for what it is and I enjoy the moments when they're good. Cause like when drama is juicy, it's juicy and it's entertaining and I'm going to be entertained. But then when it's over, you have to remember to leave it like on the screen and not bring it to social media and not take it to those people's personal pages and go into their comments and be like, how dare you do so-and-so to this person and how dare you don't be like, you should die because of it. Like, don't say that. If you ever say that to somebody, you are deranged.
My God. I just like, it has to be like, not children, but like teenagers doing that, right?
It's people who don't, and even like it's just people of any age who just don't understand that the TV's fake and that when you watch the television show, that's not real.
There's not actually little people in there doing a song and dance for you.
No.
Every Friday night at 8 p.m., 9 p.m. Central.
Yeah.
Or whatever.
And I see so many queens like from the show who get bad edits, who like come into like and they do like interviews and stuff and they're like, do people forget that drag queens are just catty and like we all have big egos and we all are full of ourselves and like we all say really mean things to each other. It's just a matter of like in what context it's put into and like whether, because like we all know it happened at the drag show last night with like the hosts and stuff. Like drag queens love to just poke at each other and make fun of each other and like say mean things. Like that's such a part of drag culture as it is. And like obviously there's like
the extent of
like obviously there's like lines that can be crossed and like things that can be said that are like not okay. But like for the most part, it's very much a part of the scene to be a little bit, shady to each other.
Ooh.
But if the producers take a shady comment you say and they make it seem genuine and they take it and they're like, ooh, you said that in a mean way.
They add the like music, intense music and the cut and to someone who's just like oh my God.
And that reaction of that person gasping could have been to something completely unrelated that they just cut in there to make what you said look even worse. So like, yeah, you have to just kind of take it with a grain of salt and not take it to those people directly and start screaming to them on Twitter and calling them all these nasty, horrible things. Like,
and I do think that is true with any reality TV show.
Yes.
Because like, again, I always think of it like, because I went through a little bit of a Bachelor phase for a second. It was literally, I was very obsessed with the McElroys, and one of them had a podcast about The Bachelor, and I was like, I want to listen to it because it's the funniest brother, and I want to listen to it and know what they're talking about. And so I watched one season of The Bachelorette, and they stopped doing the podcast. So I stopped watching because I was like, that was really weird, and I did not like that anymore. Yeah. And it's just like there's these like just absolutely like buffoon characters, and that's what they are, characters that go on the show that like are like very common in reality TV shows. Like they like these two like men that were fighting like had hopped from like reality show to reality show, like playing out this beef in every circumstance. So I was like,
yeah, that's like there's a lot of like one of my reality shows that I have like a weird relationship with is called The Challenge.
The Challenge.
And it's this like MTV reality show where they get all these people. Usually it's like people who don't really do other reality TV except for The Challenge. So they're like the challenge people. And then there's like guests that they have from like other reality shows that come on. And that show, it just like, it gives me a migraine. It's always just these grown adults screaming at each other, and like it's all based on like physical challenges. Like that's the whole point of the show, is like every episode they do like a series of physical challenges, and like by the end there's like two people that are put head to head, and like whoever wins that last challenge gets to stay and the other person has to leave. And so it's just like that for like an entire season until there's like only a few people left, and then they do the final challenge, and then if you win the final challenge, you like win the whole season.
Isn't that just like Total Drama Island?
Kinda, yeah. Yeah.
That was such a good
except
show.
The challenge has a little bit less of like, I don't know. It doesn't have as much, because like,
does it take itself very seriously?
Yeah, it takes itself seriously, and like I don't feel from watching it that it has a lot of like strategic value.
Oh,
it's really all based on like just the challenges, because like what they do is there's like a challenge, and there's like a small group of people who like win that challenge, and then they kind of get to determine like who goes into the final challenge, sort of a thing. So like it's really weird, and like it's messy and like annoying, and everyone is unlikable, and I don't personally enjoy it. And there's always Big Brother people that go on there, and all the every person for like except for like a couple people, every Big Brother person that goes on there are always the people I despise. Like, I just don't like them, and I don't like how they act on TV.
Like, even in their Big Brother.
Yeah, like, I didn't like them on Big Brother, and then they always go to it's every time. The person who I don't like on a Big Brother season is always like, I'm going on the challenge.
It's
and I'm
because,
like, oh,
it's because the people
God.
who, like, play into the reality show system just, like, will keep getting money from doing these shows, and will keep being a personality. I mean, isn't that what happened with Trisha Paytas?
Yeah. Although Trisha, I feel like she didn't do a lot of like reality TV.
No.
Because like I feel like Celebrity Big Brother in the UK.
She was already a celebrity when she did it.
She did a lot of like talk shows. That was like her thing in her early career before she really popped up on YouTube.
Or whatever his name is.
She would go on those ones and be like, I'm addicted to tanning, and be like a crazy girl, like, which it was all fake. She's like said this as well, like all that stuff that she said she did on those talk shows was like fake, just so she could get on the show, which like duh, like obviously. And so and then she got YouTube, and then like people just became so fascinated with like how weird she was, which I feel like for Trisha it probably started like, oh, I'm doing all this as a bit, and then it just like she ended up doing it all the time because that's what made her popular. That now it just became part of who she is. And now she just is weird, but like in a horrible way, where she's just a gross person.
Yeah, like she there's a video that someone made where I don't want to say that the word, but it's, the German very, they called her someone who was very anti-Semitic and in general, use that big N word.
But not that one.
No, I know.
But like,
that's
not
what I wanted to say, but you know what I mean.
The like,
Yeah, and
the historical one.
Yes,
the World War II one.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I was like, wow. Like, it really it gave me a second, because I was like, dang, like I kind of like for a while it was like I didn't like her as a person, but I liked watching what she did.
Because you were fascinated. Because she just works in ways that it's so hard to comprehend as just like an everyday person.
When her and Ethan Klein did Frenemies, I watched the first couple of episodes, and I went up to the first like walkout, and then I was like, this makes me uncomfortable to watch. Yeah. Because like I never know when they were fighting or when they were serious, because it would literally be like Trisha would be fine 1 second and then the next second she walked out, and I was just like, I don't even know. I don't even know what happened, and I'm like shouldn't be here to see it.
Those frenemy episodes were always so strange because like she walked out like 5 or 6 times. Like it was like every other episode, and it would always just be over like weird things where like if you weren't paying super close attention, you'd almost miss like what had happened,
because it would always be something about it would be something. Sorry, I just talked over you.
No, you're fine.
It would be something about what happened off camera. Yeah, that happened in their personal life, or like because one of them like they were like worried about Moses's like safety in like one of the instances, and I was like, why is this being brought up on a million view podcast? Yeah. It was that person is literally an enigma.
Yeah, no, Trisha, and I'm not a fan of Ethan Klein either. Like, sorry to anybody who is, but like
I don't know. He says stuff, and I'm just like
he's also like very misogynistic. Because like a lot of the people that he rags on like on his shows are always women, and it's always in a way where it's like, haha, look at that dumb woman, like being a dumb woman, and it's like, what?
I just don't. I don't like him in general. I didn't watch him before, and I don't watch him now. No. I watched it solely for the fact that it was Trisha Paytas being confronted about things.
Yeah. And I think that's why so many people now like him, because in their situation with the two of them, he always looked like the hero. Yes. Like he always looked like, I'm just an innocent bystander and Trisha's just screaming at me. So like I think for him it did wonders, like for his career, because now people really like him, and all because of that.
And it would always be like Trisha would say something absurd and like or very anti-Semitic, and he would just be like, that is like not okay to say. And because he would be doing this thing that any decent human being would do in correcting her, and when she made a harmful comment. Yep. And so just in any position, you put like literally like Vladimir Putin and like just like a random middle schooler, you're always going to say that the random middle schooler, no matter how much they bullied you, is the better person. Yeah. Because you have just this evil figure, which I wouldn't specifically say Trisha's evil, but I would say that she is not a force of good.
She is, to me, extremely mentally ill.
Oh, 100%.
And needs serious professional help that I don't think she will ever she will never voluntarily get that help unless it got her attention. Like, unless it was in a way where she could be like, going to the mental hospital and could like vlog about it and like make it part of her like channel.
But then at that point it's not even her getting help. No. It's still
exactly.
Just her.
Which is why I still think like it'll never happen.
No. I think unless she's institutionalized.
Yeah. Especially now that she's literally having a child.
That's gonna be so scary. Like I hope she doesn't become like a family vlogger, but she is.
Yeah,
because it is. Oh my God. And you know what happens also, like, because she's talked about like her struggle with having a child before, and like once you do like the in virtual, that wasn't the right word, but like like it's the like outside of the womb and blah blah blah. Yeah, that happens. You are like more likely to have a child afterwards. Also, yeah, that's what happened. I also have to tell you about my ex-band teacher, which I found out today, because that's what happened to her. She had a baby because she was having trouble, and she did it like through other means, and she had twins like a year after, so she was like on maternity leave for quite a while, and then she eventually quit like last year, 2 years ago maybe. Turns out she became a baby whisperer.
What does that mean?
So, this is the sleep whisperer. I'm not gonna, like, I don't know, like, I'm not going to like do anything that will put this on blast other than say that she is the sleep whisperer. Give me a fake name.
Harold.
A female.
Oh.
I don't know. I mean,
Betty.
Betty and her amazing sleep training guidance changed our lives. Not only did she help our daughter safely transition to her crib, but she also helped her sleep through the night by 10 weeks old. From that moment forward, our daughter has slept 11 to 12 hours per night, every night. So what she does, to my knowledge, is she has these just like, I'm assuming podcasts that she talks to and and just it puts the baby to sleep. Apparently. She's got testimonials. Betty always did what was best for our family. Oh my God. And it's just like
what an interesting job.
Literally. And so I think that the only reason also that she's able to do this is because, so this is the package for, what is this? For newborns to 12-week-olds. The investment of a 14-day plan, which involves a phone call evaluation, a customized routine, in-person or live video consultation, nursery tour, 4 phone calls, and unlimited email support.
Oh.
That is $450.
To have someone put your baby to sleep.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting. I've never heard of this as like a job.
No, I just found out about this today.
She's found her niche market. I'll just say
really
that.
has.
Like,
for then what is this? I think baby 12 weeks to 2 years is also $450. But then the toddler package is $475. This is my band teacher who ran my marching band. She is so Betty is a certified infant, baby, and toddler sleep consultant. As a mother of a sweet daughter and identical twin boys, she's passionate about helping families achieve their sleep goals. Betty's own struggles and interests in baby sleep intrigued her to read a number of sleep resources to help her sleep train her babies early at the newborn stage. Seeing her children as the best versions of themselves motivated her to get certified at being and begin helping other children sleep through the night. How is a baby the best version of themselves?
You know, the baby way. When the baby decides that they're a baby and that they identify as a baby.
In addition to sleep consulting, Betty is a band director with a master's degree in music education. She's been teaching for 10 years, and her experience as a music educator has prepared her to work with children of all ages. Each child is unique and requires a customized sleep plan. Betty will help your child discover their independent sleep skills and bring harmony back to your home. Contact Betty for a sleep evaluation.
Wow. That's crazy.
Yeah, and this is where, she understands you. Betty and her husband struggled through years of infertility challenges and were finally blessed with their daughter using IVF. A short time later, they were miraculously pregnant with twin boys with no assistance. Their sons were born 9 weeks early, and they became NICU patients. NICU patients parents. For 6 weeks. Needless to say, she understands where you're coming from. And that, ladies and gentlemen, and everyone else, is why I don't read on the podcast. I called it a podcast. Where am I?
A podcast.
It might as well be at this point. It's
a
radio show, but everyone calls it a podcast, honestly.
It might as well just be one.
But yeah,
That's so weird.
This woman who kept me up at night is now putting babies to sleep.
Wow. Maybe you could get her services and to help you go to sleep.
I need the infant package immediately.
You're like, will it work on me, an adult person?
I buy it and I have the consultations with her. Hi, I have
she's like, so where's the baby?
I have to figure out how many weeks I am.
You're like, what baby?
So there's 12. No, there's 52. Should I go by months or weeks?
I have no idea.
I'll go months. So
okay, sure.
There's 12 months in a year. I'm 21. This is my 252 month baby.
Yeah. And
who can't sleep.
Yeah. She comes to the consultation and she's like, "Oh, like where's the baby?" And you're like, "What baby?" You're like,
the nursery tour. It's like, here's my nursery.
It's just your bedroom.
My dorm room.
Yeah. You're like, "It's me." You're like, I'm the only one here.
You remember?
Yeah.
You remember Betty?
It sounds like it's going to be a murder, like a revenge plot. Like you've been plotting to kill her.
Do
you remember me?
I was never drum major.
Da da da.
I whip out a saxophone.
And
I put her to sleep.
Ooh, with your saxophone.
Yes.
Yeah. And then you steal her identity.
And then I become the
baby whisperer. Yeah.
What do you go to sleep?
Hey baby. Go to sleep.
You should do that. Actually,
ASMR.
Scrap everything. Next week, that's gonna be our whole.
We're doing ASMR now. Hi guys. Not the breathing. Not the breathing. Not the breathing.
I don't feel ASMR. I don't have like.
Hi everyone. I'm doing ASMR. I doubt anyone can hear me.
Hello everyone, and welcome back. You can still whisper, but also I'm notoriously bad whisperer. Because I just like I'll talk like this,
which is just like you talking but like raspy.
Yeah.
Just, now I'm talking raspy,
but like it's technically quieter, but it's not.
Yeah, I guess.
So. My vocal cords are a little roughed up from the drag show. Not gonna lie.
Yeah. No, I was hooting and hollering.
Oh my god, and like. I loved everyone who performed, but like by the end of the night, my hands like were like raw from like clapping so much because it was also during every song people would clap to the beat.
I know.
So I was like,
so
ow,
funny.
ow.
I was like, literally every song, people were like, "We have to clap," and I'm like, "No,
you don't have to." But otherwise, it would be way too silent in there.
That's true.
Because it was the music, like it wasn't loud enough to cover up the sound, like.
Of the room, like just like
and like it was also very interesting because I think I noticed it with Darian Lake more is that when she lip syncs, she also like she sings like quietly to herself, which I assume a lot of drag.
It's a way to make it look like more realistic.
Yes, exactly.
You know.
But I heard her and I was like, XOXO.
Yeah.
I'm out of here.
I mean, like in a typical fashion, the music would be louder, and I don't know if you would be like that close.
Yeah,
you were like very close to her. I don't think you would have been that close in like a normal situation, so you probably like wouldn't have heard it as much. But
it was a slay. She did a mix of Fat Funny Friend, which is on my POV. You are not the main character playlist. And also then she went into The Greatest Showman, like...
This is me.
And I was like, oh my god,
slay. This is me.
It was really good. I think that's it is a very amazing opportunity that we were able to see a professional drag queen.
Mm-hmm.
Like...
From the area, too. Like, from New York.
Yeah, you know?
Like, someone who, like...
A Rochesterian.
Yeah. A Rochester girly.
Oh my god.
Yeah, and then the speech she gave after was like so good. Like when after she performed that song, like that mix, and then she like gave her little speech. I was like, dang. I was like, what an inspiration, like truly.
And she was like, this is where like so many amazing people get their start. And I was like, slay.
Yeah, you're like, that's us.
That's me. That's me.
That's me. Yeah. No, it was great. It was beautiful.
And then we went to Denny's afterwards.
Which was an experience, that's for sure.
Yeah, it was for sure. I feel like that's everything I wanted to say about like the drag show and stuff.
Yeah, no, it was very fierce. It was a good time.
Very fierce.
It was very fierce. Slay the house down boots.
Oh, I saw a TikTok where it was like we've taken slay too far,
slay,
and it was on the like a subway, and it said like
it was an HIV.
Yes.
Ad.
Oh my god, and it was like. I'm slaying away from HIV or something like that. Just like god awful.
Yeah, or like I slay with HIV.
Yes,
or like,
yeah.
It was very not in good taste. Like the thing is like you can tell what the intention was, and you're like, you know, I see what you were going for, but just you didn't think about it hard enough.
Which like
you didn't think about it hard enough.
Can lead us into maybe talking about the Target Pride collection? Question mark, question mark, question mark?
Yeah, I mean, it's so... My feelings on rainbow capitalism are always so, like, mixed. Because on one hand, I'm like, yes, these companies are probably only doing this because they know that we'll buy it. And they're just preying on our money and, like, on wokeness. And they're trying to be like, look, we're a woke company. Buy our merch. However, in the same vein, it's like, but at least they're giving representation. Because you also have to remember that, like, 20, 30 years ago, this would not happen.
No.
This wouldn't. Nowhere ever would you see the merch that we have. Like, the fact that we have merch that has pronouns on it, and the fact that we have merch that's like, I'm a slaying gay going fierce down the sidewalk.
Yeah.
Henny, like that, we wouldn't have that kind of stuff. So it's also like.
Before it would be, you would just be hate crimed and that would be it.
Yeah.
But now, like, it is, like, in any aspects, everything is going to be, commoditized. Everything is going to become a profit-driven industry.
Yes.
Just by the inherent nature of capitalism. LOL. This is okay. Like
and also it's like my other kind of like pro, I guess, to like a Target Pride collection is that I just love to see the homophobic people get so mad.
Oh my god.
And like those videos of them like trying to vandalize the Pride section and be like, get these sinful things out of my store.
The Lord say
the Lord say it. And then like the have you seen that video? There's like this female Target Pride worker and she gets stopped by this like homophobic guy and he's like, do you support Satan? And she's like, yes, I do. And what? Like she like just doesn't give him even an inch to try to like argue with her. And he's like, you support the satanic pride? And she's like, yes, I do. And what? And what about it? What are you gonna do? And it was great. I love her.
No, because it's like
Icon.
At that point it's like, I'm not going to change your mind.
No.
A Target employee is not going to... You went there to harass Target employees also.
Yeah, and anyone like customers of Target.
Yeah, and it's also, like, it's for, like, the most inoffensive things.
It's a T-shirt that has a rainbow on it that says, I'm gay. And you're like... like,
I do have to say, though, they have flopped in the past. Like, with, like, anything that is, like a Pride Disney thing, I'm like, no.
Yeah.
Because it's never done well.
No.
It is always just like a mascot, like a Mickey Mouse and he's rainbow. And I'm like, I don't want that.
Yeah.
I don't care.
Yeah. It's like, I want a little more thought put into just taking like a basic T-shirt, slapping a rainbow on it and saying, all right, this is good. This looks great. Like, have a little creativity, have a little like intention, like, show that you know anything about queer culture other than just they like rainbows and they like kissing boys and they like kissing girls. Like, come on, give us anything.
No, exactly. And like, I think they do it pretty well in a lot of the designs that I have liked. It's never like, it's very rare that it says anything that is like outwardly just say gay on it. Like that's the stuff I don't like. You know, the shirt that says like whatever, like. If you like that, you like it, like, but it's not something that I'm gonna wear and walk around in.
No, like not all the time. Like if I'm going to a pride parade, sure, but like.
But then there's these, like, what are they called? Pride Adult Rainbow Color Short Sleeve. That doesn't help at all, but like, the image is literally like people have described it as the bathroom or not the bathroom floor. Oh my god. The floor of a bowling alley or a roller rink, you know, it's just like colorful lines that are like straight and like curved, you know, on like a black background.
Yeah.
And I think this is how to do like any kind of like themed release of clothing. It is do not explicitly put on the thing like Pride Month. Like this is something that can be worn regardless of like if you are gay or not.
Yeah.
This is a shirt. This is a cute shirt first.
Yeah.
And is just so happened to be put in the pride
Which
category.
Also, just from someone who like grew up young and gay, it's so great when you can find like pride merch that is kind of like undercover pride merch, because like there's just like sometimes you're not in a safe place or you're not in like a healthy environment where you can go to Target. And, like I think this is also something we kind of forget in like our modern age. Is like there's so much privilege involved with being able to go to Target and purchasing like an explicitly like Pride Month LGBT shirt and like wearing it out in public and not feeling embarrassed or not like feeling uncomfortable. Where like for when you're young and you're growing up and you're trying to find yourself and you're kind of exploring that and you want to start wearing things that like express your sexuality, you're not in a safe place where you can wear something that's explicitly LGBT. You have to go for these more like undercover kind of hidden, I guess, like designs that aren't so out there. And I think that that's also really cool that they're trying to do that and trying to be like, you know, a little more fashionable.
One that I really like also, it's like a nice like lavender shirt, and it has a bunch of different flowers on it. And like, you know, it has like a little label. It's kind of like one of those like info posters that you see like in a nature room.
Yeah, like a biology class.
Yes. And it has all these flowers that have been queer coded or like used in a queer manner to either represent like a relationship or something like that. It's like lavender and violet, and it's just like, it's a beautiful shirt. And if you didn't read the text because it's small and like, I don't know, unless someone's sitting there reading your shirt, which I would hate, is a beautiful way to show your pride, but also, like, the girls who get it, get it.
Yeah.
And those who don't, it's just a flower shirt.
Yeah, exactly.
There is also one that says, it's like a kind of like a vintage, one of the ideas of like those books that was like, wait at home for your husband. Like, with a smile on your face. It's that kind of, like, art style, like, comic booky, but it says, busy thinking about girls, and it's a girl. So it's, like, yeah. And it's
like, lesbian.
Yes, and that is, like, literally such a cute shirt.
Yeah. I also really like the silence equals death one, because if you know, it talks about, like, the AIDS epidemic and how a lot of people will, you know, at the time were like, us not talking about this issue is quite literally killing people.
Yes.
And, like, people not caring about AIDS and people getting AIDS is like actually causing death. Yes. And I think that shirt's really cool. And I like that they have a shirt like that, because I think at its core, queerness is so rebellious. And even though, you know, a lot of companies want to kind of like make gayness be like, oh, it's normal, it's cool, it's just like everything else. Like, it also isn't. Like,
Exactly.
There's still so much to queerness that is taboo and is pushed under the rug and is, like, ignored. And, like, well, let's not talk about all that dark, depressing stuff. Let's only focus on, like, being in a Target commercial and, like, having a family and, like, for Target to be like, nah, we're going to actually, like, talk about this is, like, cool. And I'm done with that.
Stuff like that, like, it brings to light that there is historical trauma in being a part of the LGBTQIA+ community.
Yeah.
And it is so important to remember. I think an example of them not doing it right, however, there is also another shirt. I have to look up the specific name of this indigenous individual.
Okay, I actually was thinking about that because we kind of talked about this earlier, and I think my opinion on it has changed a little bit.
Oh, really? Okay.
Because I like thought of something kind of like interestingly that I think like, so for people who like don't know, it's a shirt that has like an indigenous person on it, and there's like writing on the shirt, and it just talks about like the meaning of two-spirit, which
is it is a term that has historical meaning as well of someone who is outside of the traditional male and female genders.
Yeah.
That has been historically around in Native American communities long before Europeans have even like were on the land. Oh my God.
Yeah.
I just had
no, you're right.
But no, yeah. And so it is not only a cultural representation that has been completely and utterly decimated by white European ideals. And, like, when Europeans first came, they were all brutally murdered because of their difference. It is now a very large movement of Two-Spirit Indigenous individuals are reclaiming it. And a prime example is the person that is on the shirt. They were one of the first Two-Spirit Indigenous representation that went to Congress and stuff. I believe that's who it is. There's a specific name that I learned in a class that I just can't remember right now.
And my thoughts on this are, I think that Two-Spirit is one of those kind of queer identities that there is not a lot of public attention towards, and like not a lot of people, unless you actually like do your research, know about it. And so I think to bring attention to it is very interesting. And also the fact that because like so often I feel like historical queer figures are never showcased and never idolized in a way where it's like, this is this person's name, this is what they looked like, this is what they stood for, this is what they did for the queer community. And to actually put someone on there and say, this is a real life queer person who really existed and went through trials and tribulations due to stigma against being Two-Spirit, is so much more impactful than just being like, here's a flag, here's some flag colors on a shirt where you may not even know what flag it is, but they're on there and it looks cute. Like, to actually go like, here is a picture and a description of what this thing is, so you can actually educate yourself and know what this real life identity is much more meaningful and different, and something that like doesn't happen, that we don't get to see.
So the individual's name that I'm thinking of that is the person on the image is Wiwa. Wiwa, I'm gonna read this just from the shirt. The gender identity, so it's pretty much the definition of, it also, it says it right on the shirt. So on the top it says Two-Spirit, on the upper left-hand corner, and then on the upper right-hand corner it says Wiwa Zuni tribe. And so under the photo it says, a gender identity in indigenous cultures held in high regard and considered sacred or divine. Often revered in the community, Two-Spirit people held important positions like matchmakers, shamans, and warriors. They exhibit a balance of both masculine and feminine energies.
Yeah, and I guarantee there's so many like white gays out there who had no idea that this even
100%,
is like a thing.
100%.
And also I want to say, I mean, I don't know if I can technically say this, but I'm just going to say like, well, let me change my thought.
Okay.
I would first of all like to talk to like an actual indigenous queer person who is Two-Spirit and like get their opinion on this
100%.
Because obviously like this is just from what I've thought about and like kind of thinking about this shirt and thinking about like what it means in terms of like Rainbow Capitalism and the other merch. But I would like to know like a person like that thoughts, which I think I'm going to go and I'm going to try to find if I can see anything after we're done recording this.
I agree.
You know,
I was going to, because now that it's been out for a little bit, I'm hoping that like someone has like made a post about it.
And been like, this is like, as an indigenous person, like this is how I feel. Because I do think that like, it is definitely sort of like is Target just capitalizing off of indigenous culture and like indigenous pain by being like, oh, we're going to like slap this on a shirt and sell it to people? I personally, from the way that it is presented, I don't feel that. I do feel like there was intention put behind this shirt and that they really tried to like educate people through this
I agree.
piece of apparel, just based on the way it's been presented to me. If I talk to someone and they bring up a different point, then maybe I just fell for it. I fell exactly for what Target wanted, which was me to be like, oh, this is cool and woke, and I wanted it. But having thought about it and really thinking about it, I don't have a problem with it. And I actually hope that we get more merch that has like people on it that hold historical context for the queer community.
Yeah.
Because I don't feel like we have a lot of that. Like a lot of the people that anybody really talks about are like Marsha P. Johnson and Harvey Milk and that's like about it. Like, we don't have a lot of historical figures because so many of them are just ignored and like silenced.
100%.
So like, I don't know. That's just kind of how I feel.
Yeah, because my initial response to that was like, I do not feel like that this is an appropriate use of this person's likeness, especially from a mega corporation like Target.
Right.
I always like, you know what, in general, I'm just going to say it now. If you're going to buy Pride merch and you have the reasonable means to do it, buy it from a local artist, a local or just a small business in general, a small queer-owned business.
Yeah.
I think it is very important to support like-minded people something like this.
It's the best way, like, to actually support queer people. And I would like to think, based on some of the designs, that, like, hopefully real queer people actually helped design some of this merch.
Yeah.
Because, again, like, some of it really does feel like it holds so much, like, attention to detail that, like, sorry to all the straighties out there. I don't think a straight person could have done that. Like, I don't think a straight person could have actually, like, taken the time and the care to make these clothes in a way that's so meaningful. Like, it had to have been at least queer people in the designing room who, like, helped with the designs.
I think especially with the fact that it has the correct lesbian flag in most of their stuff. I believe all of it. I think so, yeah. You know, and which is a very important thing because there are so many past lesbian flags that are, you know, turf related, which are just a whole nother. I don't even want to talk about
I think we've talked about them before.
We definitely have because we talked about J.K. Rowling.
We did. That is true.
LOL.
Yeah. I mean, it's always
god awful. No, okay, I'm sorry. There is just there is this dress that is just like god awful, and it literally just is the lesbian flag colors, like color blocked, going like vertically down the dress.
Yeah. I mean, hey, pink and orange are a cute color combination.
It is cute, but I think it could have been done in a much better way than literally having
a little more
flag.
creative.
Yes.
Yeah, could have been a little more creative.
I think there's a good mix of that, and also any T-shirt that just has like the rainbow and like some text, I feel like was definitely made last year,
probably,
and was just saved for this year's collection.
I mean, but maybe some people like that. Like, I personally don't like merch like that, but I mean, maybe there are people out there who are like, I want to just be basic. I want it put on there. Boom, I'm gay. That's it. That's all I want. Like, I don't know. I personally don't, because I'm kind of like, I want it to be a little different.
It's giving like boomer gay.
Yeah, it's giving like, I'm queer, I'm here. Get used to it. And it's like, okay.
Yeah. There is also a Tumblr. I just keep bringing this up, but there's a big Tumblr that says, like, written, it's a cream color, so it's very pretty. And then in, like, black, like, kind of, oh, excuse me, I'm burping. In lowercase text, it says, I wish this was iced coffee.
Which is like, gay.
Like, you know, and I think that's a very clever way, but it's also, like, cute. Like, it's a cute design. Yeah. But if I use it for iced coffee, then, like, what's the point?
But, like, how often do you
drink
iced coffee?
Never.
Right.
No, actually, I drink iced coffee every day, but not out of, like, a tumbler.
Yeah, out of, like, a Starbucks cup or something.
Yeah.
Yeah. My opinions on, like, these types of, like, Pride merch drops are always so, like, I just have so many mixed emotions because it's, like, it's great that representation is there and that we actually are, like, being displayed, like, on apparel in major department stores. But in the same vein, it's also, like, how sincere is it? Is it just to
is it
be
a cash
greedy?
grab?
Right. Or is it because you actually care about, like, diversity and you actually care about representation? Like, I don't know. And I probably will never know the answer to that unless the CEO of Target himself, I'm assuming it's a man.
Mr. Target.
I'm going to see who the CEO, so I don't misgender the CEO of Target. But
Mixed Target,
CEO Target. No, it's a man. Brian Cornell. He's been the CEO since 2014. Brian Cornell. If I ever meet Brian Cornell one day and he tells me, oh, no, this is all very sincere and I really do care about the LGBT community, then I'll be like, great.
I'm an ally.
Yeah. I'll be like, great, perfect, amazing.
This is Valentina.
But if I meet him and he calls me a slur, then we'll know our answer. Won't we?
Yes.
So, I don't know. My thing is, like,
I'm calling you out.
If you really want to buy the Pride merch, like, sure, like, I'm not going to scream at you. I'm not going to be like, you really shouldn't go for it.
No, because it is a cost-effective way of getting Pride merch.
Yeah.
And Pride stuff, and, like, That is important.
But also don't forget to like also invest your money and your time in like queer art and queer run businesses, because that way you're kind of spreading out. You can buy your shirt from Target, but then also, you know, buy your potted plant from some lesbian at some herbal store.
Yes.
Like, I don't know, you know, like.
And it's also, Etsy's a great place for it.
Oh, yeah.
Or just like, you know, I'm sure you'll find one at
your
local craft store.
Find a GoFundMe and like donate some money to a GoFundMe.
You'll find a little queer walking around somewhere.
Like,
be like, hey,
you
got anything
let me give you
sell?
some money. Yeah. Oh. Yeah. So yeah, you know, just remember that like, I don't know what I'm trying to say. I'm trying to make some like big final statement to wrap it all up. But I can't think of anything.
In celebrating Pride, it is important to realize that it is riddled with anything. It is riddled with greed and the want of money.
And discourse.
Yes.
Always discourse.
Yes, because it is. Because like-minded people like Ryan and I will sit down and we will actively talk about what it means to be queer. So having that put on display is a very interesting but also scary.
And also naturally rebellious. And I just want to emphasize the fact that if you are even brave enough to display your queerness for other people to see, like that is an act of advocacy.
Yes.
And that is an act of activism. And don't ever like feel ashamed, because what you're doing is for the betterment of the queer community.
Yes.
In the long run.
The representation of, or not the representation, but the implementation of it by big corporations, we're still out on that. Yeah. Pretty sure it's not the best thing, but it's also like there's nothing you and I can do, you know, to end that.
Yeah, the two of us in this booth are not going to be able to fix that problem.
I can't eradicate capitalism right now.
No.
As me, but like I wish, fingers crossed.
Yeah, maybe one day. It's just always important to remember that like
you have to work with
progress is being made. Yeah, progress has been made in one form. It might not be. It doesn't end though. Like I think that's the other thing is like progress has been made by these big department stores having Pride merch, but that's not where our advocacy ends, and that's not where the work to gain true equality for queer people is going to end. It's not going to stop here just because Target released Pride merch. We all can sit back and be like, well, our job is done. Queer people have rights. Like, no. Like, they can have their merch and we can be a little weird about it, but we also have to remember that, like, maybe Target making Pride merch isn't the biggest problem we have right now, and maybe there's more pressing issues.
I would say it's the rampant transphobia that is happening and the continued bills that are banning like trans children from getting gender affirming surgeries, as well as being unable to participate in sports.
Exactly. Like those are the things that I think we need to talk about more than just I don't like that Target has a gay shirt. Like
and I think it also is just a part of like a lot of white gays are very content with where they are right now because they are not actively hate crimed every day.
Cisgender also.
Yes,
white cis gays are very much like we are very much at a point where we can
because they can get married now.
Yeah,
so they're happy about it.
And we are at large socially accepted to an extent by the overall heteronormative society enough. Well,
no, I know.
Like, you know, so it's like at this point we have to remember that like queer is more than just being cis and being gay, and like as a community of people we need to be fighting for the advocacy of everyone within the community, and not just once we finally get rights and once we're finally accepted, that's it, work's done, it's over. Like no,
there's still so
much. Yeah,
gay rights.
That's and to close it all out, gay rights. That's what we have to say about that.
I thoroughly enjoyed this conversation.
It was a lot more intense than I was expecting coming into this today.
Yes, especially just because we talked about Drag Race and like just like toxicity, I believe, of like TV and online spaces.
Yeah,
we talked about drag in general and what it means. And then we talked about the Pride collection and Rainbow Capitalism.
This is a gay episode.
It really was.
This episode was really
This was
gay.
the gay. Next time it's gonna be the grossed out.
We're gonna talk about everything we hate.
Yes.
Everything we've ever hated ever.
Oh.
For the season finale.
I'm gonna call out all of the people who have wronged me.
Oh my gosh, drama.
Number 1, Ryan.
Yeah, probably. That checks out.
Ryan actually beat me up beforehand.
Oops.
My bad.
Oopsies. It's not my fault that my arms just happened to extend right when you were at the top of the stairs. That's not my fault. It was a muscle spasm in both my arms at the same time.
What everyone doesn't know is that I'm in 2 full body casts.
2 full body casts?
One,
you have one on
one on top of the other because the first one was it was broken again from Ryan beating me.
Yeah, from the last time that I pushed you down the stairs.
It happens every time. I should stop using stairs.
Yeah, you should really use the elevator from now on. I'll make sure that I leave my saw at home so I don't accidentally cut the elevator cable and result you to plummet multiple stories. No. Anyway, come back next week if you want to see if Cassidy's alive by next show.
You can follow us on Instagram at Gang Grossed Out.
YouTube, The Gay and the Grossed Out.
Oh my God. This will be posted. Well, most of you, if you're listening to it, it is posted.
Yeah, if you're listening on the YouTube right now,
because
then
that's
been
in
posted.
The future.
Yeah, you're in the future. How does that feel? We're talking to you from the past.
Oh my God, we're talking to you from the past.
So, okay, here's what you need to know. The Met Gala is happening. We'll update you next week on it because we don't have time to talk about it right now, but I still want to talk about it eventually. But I need to look at all the outfits because the Met Gala is not over at the recording of this. So next week we'll talk about the Met Gala at some point. We'll make it a segment, I guess.
And oh my God, don't look out the window.
Oh no, what's that? A bird flying right at your face. Quick, duck.
What's something that could happen between now and okay. If you're listening to this, let's say 100 years in the future.
Yeah.
I gotta say, how are the flying cars?
Yeah.
Has
AI taken over yet? Has your Alexa held you hostage yet?
Your Google Home.
Yeah, did that happen? Who's president right now? Please tell me it's not a reality star. We don't need any more celebrities being
Donald
president.
Trump.
Junior, the third.
The
Donald
android.
Whoa, Donald Trump's an android. I like that we had this big, long, very deep, educational episode, and now we end it with
robot.
Beep boop bop, beep boop bop. If this doesn't explain us, I don't know. This is just it.
We're so crazy.
We're so quirky and crazy. Oh my gosh, I'm so quirky.
We need to end this now.
Yeah, okay, it's over. We're already going past time, so it's over. Thank you everyone for listening.
Bye, everyone.
See you next week. Bye-bye.